Hello and welcome back, boys and girls. That's right, it's me, James Hall of JH Miniatures, and I'm here at Heretic Games Tamworth to bring you, yes, the news, my brothers, that the Heretic Games opening day painting competition has finally ended. All of the finished entrants are here, all 36 of them, and we're going to have a look at some of them right now. But I've got to say, before anything else, check out the link in the description down below, because right now, as we speak, voting is live. That's right, you get to choose who wins this fine competition and the incredible prizes that are on offer. So check out the link in the description and go and cast your vote now, boys and girls. This is open to everyone from around the world. We want to see what you think, which one you would pick to be the winner. With 36 finished entrants for this very first competition here at Heretic Games Tamworth, I couldn't talk about them all. Richard and Dan are fantastic hosts, but there's not enough hours in the day to talk about all of the fantastic entrants. So I've had to make some choices, right? I've had to make some hard choices. So I've picked 3 of the Primaris Infernus Space Marines, and I've picked 3 of the Stormcast Eternal Liberators. Okay, and we're going to look at them right now. So I want to start by looking at entry number 29, this absolutely fantastic Imperial Fist. I mean, he could be a captain, couldn't he? I mean, I love the attention to detail with the freehand on the back banner. The battle damage is just completely over the top. He almost looks a little bit like Swiss or mouldy cheese, which is quite fitting for an Imperial Fist. I will say this month I've been absolutely gutted to see that there are no Iron Warrior finished entrants, so come on guys, the next time there's a competition here, I want to see some finished Iron Warrior entrants, right? But the freehand details on entry number 29 are just absolutely incredible. The battle damage is good. It's a little over top in areas, but it doesn't overshadow the actual level of detail with some of the edge highlighting you've done. The flesh tones on the bare head, absolutely fantastic. I think the only thing, I mean, you've even done a back banner, and it's that classic paperclip and a bit of paper technique, fantastic. I think the only thing that really lets it down ultimately is the base, and it is just a bit sort of, you know, brown, there's the mud, grey, there's the concrete, and not a metal texture, because there's little bits of rebar sticking out of the pre-moulded base, so you could have picked some of those out. But honestly, incredible work, especially considering that this was a time-limited painting competition as well, you know, to have the banner, to have all the extra detail. Wonderful work. So check out entry number 29 in the voting page. Oh yes. Next, I want to have a look at entry number 9, which is this really cool, and I think it's meant to be from the Raptors chapter Infernus Space Marine. The level of detail here is just sublime. I mean, the shading, the weathering, all of it just works so well. The little static tufts on the base fit in really nicely with the little ivy bit at the back of the stone. But honestly, if you haven't airbrushed this, I want to know how you get those gradients as smooth as you do, because they just look absolutely incredible. And then you've got the little pops of colour with the little bits of red or the dark leather of the pouches. Honestly, entry number 9, fantastic work, and I'd be surprised if this isn't a heavy hitter in this competition. And then continuing the theme of green is best, we've got entry number 26, a Salamander's Infernus Marine, very fitting of course, with the addition of a little flaming brazier on the back, which that's a really nice little piece. Now, conversions were allowed for this competition, as well as, you know, every trick you could pull out with your paint job. And this Salamander's with the free-handed flames, with the free-handed Salamander's logo, which is not an easy logo to pull off, along with the smouldering brazier, along with all these buttery smooth blends on the greens. It is just fantastic. I do wish the base was a little more detailed. You have gone for the classic sort of paint the stone grey, dry brush it white, there you go, done. But you've picked out the metal of the rebar, the little static grass tufts are wonderful. Honestly, fantastic work, and again, another one to look out for in this competition. Well done, number 26. Now, let's have a look at some of the Stormcast entries from this competition. And I've got to start with entry number 11 because this one is just fantastic. This catches the eye of everyone that walks into this store and walks past that bookcase at the end of the day. This wonderful Stormcast that's been converted with Dark Elf parts from the, goodness, I think it's the Reaver Fast Attack Cavalry kit / with like the warp fire warlocks or whatever they're called, because that combat weapon is incredibly nicely detailed. That's a really good choice of bit on here, and the purpley pink combined with the flowers, the little tufty flowers, they give it a little bit of a Slanesh feel, so you get that sense that this could be a corrupted Stormcast or something like that. The flesh tones on the head are just fantastic. I feel like the metals are where this lets it a bit down because it's all kind of the same tone. The steel of the blade is the same as the steel of the armour, which is the same as the steel of the shield. And then the little bits of gold that you do have, or bone colour, they stand out, but I want to see more of that. I want to see maybe one of those shoulder pads just painted in that sort of bone cream colour or a little bit of gold, because that would have really, really helped this to just take it to the next level. Honestly, number 11, fantastic entry for this competition. Again, check out the photos down below because they are incredible. But if we are talking about incredible Stormcast, how can I not talk about entry number 25 with this gritty, grimdark, blood-splattered Stormcast? Oh yes. I think the Liberator's hammer covered in gore is always a nice touch in my books. But I'd be remiss if I didn't point out the wonderful colour scheme of using white and a very deep royal purple, which is so perfectly sort of done on the shield with the feathered sort of highlights and the line work, but then not being afraid to risk it, potentially spoiling it by putting a blood splat on there. Because that's always the risk. If you go a bit too heavy on the gore and the weathering, then you can lose some of the hard work that you do. But honestly, number 25, you've done fantastic here. Again, the metals work really well. The white is always such a difficult colour to paint, but you've done really nicely here. The verdigris effects, fantastic. I think the base lets it down a little bit because it's quite swampy, sort of marshland, which is good. But I think you've tried to rely a bit too much on like dirt and sort of powder effects and sort of sprinkling tea leaves and things on there to try and cover up that underlying texture. A big part of this challenge is the base. At the end of the day, it completes the model. So maybe if you tone that down a little bit, it would just sort of pop a bit more. But honestly, fantastic entry. Again, check it out in the description box down below. And finally, if we're talking about heavily converted Stormcast, how can I not talk about the Chaos Lord that is entry number 16? I mean, yes, at the end of the day, conversions happily accepted in this competition, and you have gone above and beyond with modifying this miniature, because it's still that underlying Liberator model, but heavily corrupted, and I'm guessing by Khorne. The shield kind of cracks me up because it is a bit of just a face and some tusks in a big sea of flesh, and you think, that green stuff work needs a bit of, blending in, maybe some like scale texture or gristle or more spikes or runes or something, because it is a bit flat and a bit kind of washed over. But the skulls look great, the horns look great, that amazing sort of club-like mace that he's wielding, that is a great combination of the Stormcast and the Chaos parts. That's really good. I love that conversion. And making the cloak fit on the back, and just, honestly, I can tell, number 16, that you've had a blast putting this together. So honestly, fantastic work. And hey, if there are more competitions like this, I look forward to seeing what else this guy has in store. Oh yes. So thank you all for watching, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you again so much to Heretic Games for supporting this community, for supporting Tamworth, and for bringing Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar and all these fantastic games to this area. Check them out in the description down below. Google Heretic Games Tamworth. Just literally just go on Google and search Heretic Games. You cannot miss them. And if you're in the Midlands, just come on down, just come have a look. Tamworth, Staffordshire. We're here right in the centre of the town. Just come have a look for yourself because they have a fantastic array of miniatures, paints and accessories for all of your hobby and wargaming needs. Oh yes. And again, click the link in the description down below because this competition, the voting is now live. The competition ended on the 1st of July and we want to know who the winner is. Click the link in the description down below to cast your vote for this, the very first Heretic Games Tamworth painting competition winner. Oh yes. So again, thank you all for watching, boys and girls. I'm James Hall of JH Miniatures and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you and goodbye.